Hello, YouTube family, and to my Islamic brothers and sisters. I'm probably going to butcher this, but Ramadan Mubarak, which means I think it's Happy Ramadan or something like that. This is a really exciting time in the spiritual realm. I am not a Muslim or Islamic, but I am spiritual, and I'm telling you, I am tingling all over right now because I can feel that the atmosphere is just charged spiritually. And I don't know if there's anybody else who's been able to pick up on that, but I feel that very strongly. And what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about tiger's eye, because that is a stone that I've been using that has really been resonating with me. And I also want to do a video about how I got into the stones. But one thing that I will say is whenever I buy a stone, when I'm in the store, I just tingle. I start tingling all over. My hands are tingling. It's almost like a numb tingling sensation. My whole body is just like, I don't know, it almost feels like all my cells are activated or something like that. It's an amazing feeling. And so I buy the stones, and when I get them home, I'll have them for a couple days, but then I notice probably after about a week that charge or that frequency wears off. Well, you know what? I'm tingling now, and I haven't bought any new stones. Matter of fact, the stones that I'm wearing right now, I've had them for a while, for probably at least a month, if not a month, pretty close to it. My newest stone that I just picked up is citrine. This is a beautiful stone. It's for prosperity and abundance. But like I said, I want to talk about tiger's eye. And I mean, I can feel in my hand right now, if I try to put my hands together, I can feel like the heat. It's amazing. It's off the charts. And then also I have the tiger's eye stone here as a necklace. And I just think it's so pretty. Whenever I wear it to work, people always ask me what kind of stone this is, and it's just gorgeous. Okay, so first I want to start off by reading to you what the properties of tiger's eye is. And then I want to talk about how it has resonated with me, or how it has partnered with me, even without my really even realizing it, bringing certain things to light or into manifestation. So I'm going to be reading from the Crystal Bible. Okay. So the attributes of the tiger's eye is it combines the earth energy with the energies of the sun to create a high vibrational state that is nevertheless grounded, drawing the spiritual energies to earth. Placed on the third eye, it enhances psychic abilities in earthy people and balances the lower chakras, stimulating the rise of the Kundalini energy. It says here that it's a protective stone. It was traditionally carried as a talisman against ill wishing and curses. It shows the correct use of power and brings out integrity. It assists in accomplishing goals, recognizing inner resources, and promoting clarity of intention. And there is one thing that I wanted to call out that it does. And okay, let me just keep reading. The stone is useful for recognizing both your needs and those of other people. It differentiates between wishful thinking about what you want and what you really want. Mentally, tiger's eye integrates the hemispheres of the brain and enhances practical perception. It aids in collecting scattered information to make a coherent whole. But what I really want to get to is so I had read in here that tiger's eye also helps you to see things for what they really are. it brings clarity. And I think, again, that kind of where it talks about the wishful thinking and things like that, and to see through the illusion. Seeing through the illusion. Okay. So I'm just not really getting into the practice of partnering with stones and crystals. And unbeknownst to me, just putting this tiger's eye, wearing it, I wear it almost every day. It was partnering with me without me even knowing it. So some of the things that I want to talk about is that tiger's eye has really assisted me in bringing forth the reality of relationships that I have in my life. So that's on a friendship level, on a, let's say, romantic level, family, work, and even on a personal level, just getting down, pulling away all the facades, pulling them down and just showing me the reality of things. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, a really close friend of mine, it was revealed to me probably about 2 or 3 months ago, after I started wearing tiger's eye, that this individual has been tormented by guilt. What was revealed to me is that this individual had been, molested or sexually abused as a child, and as a result of that, had, mimicked the act. So they was touched as a child, and as a child, they touched someone else in their family. And this person has been tormented by that guilt, and they didn't realize the impact that it has had on their life. And I really want to talk to that person about it, and to see if there's anything that I can do to kind of help them work through that, because I feel like a result of that, the torment from that guilt is causing them to kind of display signs of a mental illness. And so that's one thing that was brought to my attention. And then this individual said something that, a sister-in-law of hers was kind of speculating that there may have been something going on with this individual and one of their siblings. So I picked up on that way before this person told me about what this other person had said to them. So, I could be off, don't know, but it just resonated with me so strong. And I wasn't even really thinking about that person. It's just something that kind of came to me. Another area where tiger's eye brought some revelation for me is I had been involved with a man who is from Africa, and he's Islamic, and he practices polygamy. And for me, I was having a really hard time deciding, okay, this person lives all the way over in the continent of Africa. I'm here in the US. I really enjoy hanging out with this person, spending time with them. How do I manage the relationship going forward? Because, we have really great chemistry. Tiger's eye allowed me to see what this person's agenda was. And he's not coming from a malicious place or, trying to be deceitful or anything like that. It's part of the culture there, and he subscribes to that culture. And also he's here because he's wanting to make a better living for his family over there. I believe he's the sole provider for about maybe 5 to 8 people, And so I was able to sit down with him, and I told him, I said, I understand why you're here and the purpose of what you're trying to do. You're trying to provide a better life for your family and so forth, And he was just amazed, that I had that ability to see that he's not coming from a place of trying to be selfish or deceitful. And so that's another thing. And then another one is dealing with the relationship with my parents. So there are no perfect parents. I'm not a perfect parent. And for me, I had met with a psychic a few months ago, and she told me that I had this sense of duty towards my parents, and that I feel obligated a lot of times. And I didn't want to admit that. She asked me, she said, "Is that resonating with you?" And I was very hesitant to confirm what she was saying, but it was the truth, and I've had to come to terms with the fact, number one, of certain things that took place while I was a child in the household. They were abusive things that happened, and it wasn't abuse all the time, but it is what it is. It was what it was, right? And there are consequences of that, because you can't mistreat an individual and not expect for them to have some type of resentment towards you, or not have the most loving feeling towards you. I don't hate them, but at the same time I have to recognize and acknowledge what happened and internalize it and understand what that meant to me, and then move on from there. And so I believe that in order for you to learn how to forgive someone, or to love someone, or to really go through that process and complete that process, you have to allow yourself to feel the gravity of whatever it was that took place. And so that's what I've been doing now, just really stepping back and allowing myself to examine those things that happened, so that I can be done with dealing with that once and for all, so that if I say I love you to them, it's heartfelt. If I go out and buy a gift or something like that, it's not because I feel like I'm obligated or out of a sense of duty. It's because it's something that's coming from my heart. So that's another area. The other one is the reality of one of my friends' marriage. I thought it was, I don't know, I just thought it was so perfect, and I know that there is no perfect relationship or anything like that, but I went and stayed with them for a little while, and I saw that, my friend, she was reflecting her anger towards, I think, her father for not protecting her, onto her husband. And I saw that, he would just walk in a room and immediately she would start saying things to make him feel guilty. That man must have apologized, like, I don't know, 30, 40 times while we were there. And I was just kind of like, wow, is it really that serious, And so just really seeing that, and then also seeing where she internalized something that happened to her as a child. And on one hand, she said that it's been resolved. On the other hand, she said that it had not been. So I think that she, in projecting that guilt onto her husband, it's the guilt that she's internalizing, and she kind of feels like it was her fault. Maybe not on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level, she feels like, she had something to do with those acts that took place. And so I had a chance to sit down, and I want to say minister to her, but I didn't whip out a Bible or quote any scriptures or anything like that. But I just sat down and really talked to her and counseled her and said, it wasn't your fault. And, just look at your husband for who he is, and don't punish him for something that someone else did to you many years ago. That person has since passed on, so try to move on from there. Another area where some light has really been shed is at work, where the person who was my manager is not who they portrayed themselves to be. And I found that out because I decided to make a career move. And this individual just really showed their underlying motivation for having me on their team to begin with. And it's very unfortunate. And at first I was hurt, and then I was pissed. And then after that, it's like I just felt compassion. Because I was like, at the end of the day, neither one of us is going to get rich working for this company, so. And then the last thing is the relationship with my hair. And I was like, what is this? And so I used to have locks. I cut them off after I separated from my ex-husband. And then I started wearing the wigs again. And honestly, I don't want to wear wigs anymore. I want to wear my hair, what little I have. And I was just like, wow, I want to take off, this hair and just, move forward in my truth and just wear what I have. And so, just I don't know when that's going to happen, but I just had to come to terms with the fact that, yeah, I'm tired of wearing the wigs, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, tiger's eye. And this is what I heard. I heard that with the stones, they will assist you in removing any roadblocks that may be standing in the way of you realizing your higher self, and that they may even reveal some roadblocks you didn't even know you had. So with that, tiger's eye is the bomb. I love it. So right now I'm going to continue on working with tiger's eye. I'm going to do a video on how I even came into using crystals. That story is so cute, I think. So anyway, yes, that is my video for today. I thank you for watching. Peace and blessings, love and light. Remember, this is a magical time, okay? There's something about Ramadan this year that is just off the chain. So I would advise you to press in, even if you're not Islamic. Like I said, I'm not Islamic, but I am spiritual, and I believe that I can get into that current, that spiritual current, and it's going to be an amazing time. So until next time, take care. Bye.